The second half of the Superlights season kicks off underway. After what has been a thrilling first 8 races on the calendar from spring over to midsummer, the European leg continues here at full force from an exciting British Grand Prix. We now continue into the infamous track situated in the daunting Black Forest. It's the Nurburg here that will host the 9th round of 18. It's the German Grand Prix. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome here to the GPVWC Superlights German Grand Prix. Fabian is alongside with me, as always, as broadcast director, and joining alongside me here in the booth is Carlos Martin. Hello.
Hey, hello Amir. Nice to have you back here in SL2, where you started the season with us here in Superlights. We are very excited for this German Grand Prix, where tire degradation will be a super important matter. And as you mentioned, yes, we're hitting halfway through the season. It has been a very exciting season with ups and downs. We have had different championship leaders. We initially had Tom Southerly as the championship leader, and then we had to change with Jose Soriano, and now who has been dominating so far is Ruben Macheda, who is racing at his home Grand Prix here today. Well, he is the favorite to take the championship. He has a pretty comfortable lead, like more than a race lead. So let's see how the defense from Ruben Macheda is from now on until the end of the season.
Absolutely, Ruben Macheda with Optimal has currently held the charge through that season. The important thing is, can he keep that momentum up, especially here at his home crown? But we also have Philip Puschka as well. Those are the only 2 German drivers which are here to represent the German flag in their home crowd here for the Nürburgring. It's the first time actually that the Superlights has returned here since 2023, after which it's been a rotating between Hockenheim and the Nürburgring. So the GP layout, as you've said, very notorious for tire degradation, which makes qualifying all the more important here.
Yes, also at the same time, degradation is pretty high, but overtaking chances are not easy. So we might find some drivers trying to nurse very well the tires, trying to keep track position at the same time. So maybe we can see a very early pit stoppers trying to go for undercuts and then try to retain this track position. But for now, we are still in the practice session. We will be moving very soon to the qualifying session. Right now, practice session was led by Oscar Soltero, who also made debut this year in Superlights, having an amazing debut in FS2, a great race in FS1, finishing second in race 2, and then winning SL2. So he actually did the whole way. He also collected amazing results in Super League as well. And right now, he is the strongest. He is 2.5 tenths clear from P2. So he looks like he's the man to beat today.
Absolutely. It's been very interesting to see what's going to look forward to see with that grid, especially as qualifying comes to end, if you can hold that advantage ahead. But a quick look through the calendar now, as it's the second half through the season. It is currently here in the German Grand Prix. It's the round 9 out of 18. And then continuing on then from Nürburgring, we're heading over to Spa-Francorchamps, just a few miles away from this circuit. And then after which we will have a quick break for the summer. And then we return back over to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix, starting back in August. And then it's the Italian Grand Prix where GPVWC first started back in here. We're going to be host there in Monza at the 9th of September. And then after which, that's the European legs over and done with. Then it's over to the Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. And then finally, it's the last ever, proper street circuit in the Singapore streets in Marina Bay for the Singapore Grand Prix. And then after which it comes over down to the penultimate round in Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and then it's the last dash to the finish over in Yas Marina for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. A very exciting last few races here on the calendar here, and I'm all looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, it's made for the perfect ending drama, right? Like tension when you're fighting for the championship in a street circuit, it can end in the wall. So that is going to be fascinating to suffer it from a driver perspective, also from a commentator perspective. And what can we say about Brazil and Abu Dhabi? They are classics already. I mean, I think in 2025 we can say Abu Dhabi is already a classic. I mean, it's been in the calendar for pretty long time, since 2009, I think it is, in F1 calendar. And right now it has given us so many ending of the seasons, like who will forget the 2021 ending of the season, or you know, if you went to the cinemas, you know also that something happened in that last race of the F1 movie. So I encourage you to actually check the film. Actually, pretty underrated in my opinion. Fairly good, very good, entertaining. And now, yeah, we're just waiting for the quali to actually set the first time lapse. As we see now on board, Luke Mitchell. This track is very technical. The first sector is super slow, and now we are heading into a very fast section where you start on 7th gear, you go down to 6th gear, then this corner you should do it in 4th gear. We see 29.183, fairly competitive. Probably the fastest drivers, they will do 29.0, or even we might see some 28s. Now we are heading into the Schumacher S section. Should be pretty flat out, fairly easy with these very heavy downforce cars. And we are heading into this left-handed, very difficult, super bumpy. Here the setup will be crucial. And then we see all this corner here where the car is starting to bottom out, all the downforce is completely lost, and you lose the rear. We see 35.4. It is about 3.5 tenths off. As we see another snap of oversteer for Luke Mitchell. I think here the King's car is not looking great, and he goes for an aborting lap. As we see Oscar Soltero right now trying to finish his lap. We see right now Jose Soriano leading with the 26.82, and right now Oscar Soltero is already 2 tenths improving, and we see P1 for Oscar Soltero 1:26.61, and just going purple in every single sector for now.
Yeah, absolutely blistering there from Soltero, 2 tenths faster than Soriano, down in second, but Natrix with the second and third, only just about 100ths between those two, between Soriano and Smith, so that's going to be very impressive there. Canapino just lands himself up in 15th, and also Pushka and Macheda, the 2 German blokes in P4 and P5 respectively. Quite an impressive showing, I must say, from Oscar Soltero, especially so early on to be that far ahead, I must say.
Yes, track evolution will be a thing for this track. This track is pretty long, so it doesn't get rubber fairly fast. It takes some time, but we should see by the end of qualifying at perfect conditions, and maybe the track improves 1 tenth, 1.5 tenths. So the drivers must show up if they want to beat Soltero today. As we see right now, Cass Ritwell having a bit of a struggle right now. 1.2 seconds off the pace. I think he's heading into the pits. Yes, he is. And we see Giuseppe Saracino, who is, without the front wing. Ooh, okay. At least he's able to just go to the pits. We have seen Giuseppe, and the suspension completely bent. We have seen Giuseppe in GPVWC in the past. He's very competitive, and I'm very sure today it will be one of the people to keep an eye at. So far, just wrapping up what is the current situation. Soltero P1, Soriano P2, Harvey Smith P3. So the Italian teams are leading the table. Pushka P4, Macheda P5, Maika P6. David Krupa doing very well in P7, Russo P8, Murno P9, racing full-time for True North. So we have seen a driver swapping from a race-winning team like Fusion to True North, and this is a big change in the market.
Absolutely, and also don't forget to mention True North has captured their first win just back in Britain, so the fact that they've acquired Lucas Moura is a really strong sign of the belief in the talents of the Brazilian, and the fact that he's managed to climb himself up into the top 10 already is quite staggering, I must say. So very impressive there from Lucas as well. Maybe could be pushing for a bit more, because he is still only just about, 2 thousandths just slower than Russo. And there is Watson spinning off, and his wheels lost. And that's going to be retirement for the KV86 powerhouse driver.
Yes, if he's not able to return to the pits, that's game over for Omari. Starting from the back in this track is not an easy task. So we see Luke Mitchell going for his second attempt of the lap. Currently about 3.5 tenths, almost 4 tenths off from the pace from Soltero. So he's aiming for a low 27, probably a 27.2, maybe between P8, and he closes the lap in P8. He closes in a 27.18. We have seen that Luke is having a bit of a struggle in Sector 1. He's very competitive in Sector 2, and then he loses it again in the very slow corners. So it's about that Kings is pretty good in the fast section, not so good in the slower one, it seems.
Yeah, but still, for P8 is pretty good showing there from Mitchell, and as always, be able to make those improvements in the closing stages whenever the track gets in a better position. As there's Gitsoff going a bit slidey through the third sector. It's just a bit too maybe eager on the apex now as he exits out. Is it going to be any more improvement for Chris? Goes across the line. It is a bit of improvement, but you must imagine with the slide he could possibly push for even more positions.
Yes, there is still quite a lot of time remaining until the end of the session. And here we see one of the strongest drivers this season, that he had a pretty eventful season, started super strong, and he is a very respected driver within the GPVWC community. Champion, former GPVWC Super League champion, Filip Puška. Right now, pushing very strong, actually going for a P2 right now, 1/10 off in Sector 1, improving 23/10 over the lap of Soltero in Sector 2. Does the NGK chicane, not taking too much care. It's a chicane that is very important to brake very late. Goes through the last corner. Oof, not great, not a great distraction. He crosses the line in P2 with a 1:27.76. So he shows his candidacy to maybe be the best second option. So we see Harry Smith, having a spin in the last corner. He was in the edge. He was a bit off, probably not having a proper chance to improve. And we see that here David Krupa with a slightly undeveloped car with a PZZW racing team. 3/10, almost 4/10 off right now, and he crosses the line in P7. I don't know, he didn't improve. Last sector was not the greatest. Yes, it's gonna be interesting. Maybe some teams now, they go for a dummy attempt. What I call is that you take a lot of risk and you straight up going to the pits if the lap is not good. If it's lap of life, you finish and then you don't go out anymore. And this is more or less in the timing we are finding the drivers. And here we see Mateusz Majka, super strong driver. He's been doing a fantastic and phenomenal season. In FS1, he has done a phenomenal race. Oof, clipping that curb on the outside is not great. Yeah, that's why he heads into the pits. So Mateusz Majka confirming what he achieved last year in FS2 with a great performance in FS1 and great performance in SL2 as well.
Again, breaking into the top 10 in Superlights is no easy feat, so indeed phenomenal there from the Polish driver as well. Just about under 5.5 minutes left to go, and as you say, everyone's going to be pushing as much as they possibly can. Given the nature of the Nurburg ring though, there's not much runoff though, and we've seen a lot of people going slow, especially for the third sector. I must wonder if these people might be pushing a bit too much, and then with the bit on the grass, that it causes them either to be so slidey or such that they really have no choice but to abort their lap, huh?
Yes, I mean, this track is really demanding on the front left and even the rear left. Tires get really hot. So once you go after the the Schumacher S section, everything gets very difficult. And you still have two very fast corners. You have this left-handed in 5th gear. And we see Matias Canapino just losing control of the car, will not hit the barrier. Will just not hit the barrier. Well, we could see he missed the apex. They're going long. These curbs are also very high. You can touch them slightly, but you cannot actually ride them too much. As we see, Jose Soriano improving his lap time in Sector 2. He looks fairly competitive. He's trying to check that P2 right now, and he crosses the line in P2. Yes, he does, by just 0.08 of a second. He will have enough time to return to the pits and have a last attempt. This is very important for Jose Soriano, who is trailing in P2 right now. If he wants to get back into the train of contesting for the championship, he needs a race win, which he didn't achieve since round 3.
See there with Oscar Saltaro, that gap that used to be 2/10 is slowly diminishing away as the clock slowly ticks down. Mirko Lucchini, be it Screamy, come out for the final corner, and it's no improvement for the Italian. But yeah, you could just see with how tail happy they are. Everyone's pushing as much as they possibly can, but with only 3.5 minutes left to go, how much improvement I'm going to see? Jose Serrano going to go again. He's going a bit yellow. No improvement for the first sector.
No.
Is he going to tie anything up for the second? No, I don't think he will.
Soltero improved slightly his lap. He just did a 26.58. But no, there's no chance for a second lap. The tires give up so much. We're racing the C4 for the soft compounds, and they basically have a very good one lap. And yes, and taking the curbs there massively are not the, let's say, not the ideal situation. Yeah, here there are some curbs you can use, but the NGK chicane, I think, is not one of them. So yeah, I think we are seeing now Lucas Murno improving his lap, being very competitive, probably trying to jump into the top 4 right now. He's going to close the lap. Lucas Murno, the Brazilian driver, now driving for True North Motorsport, and he does P5. The last sector was not the greatest for the Brazilian driver. He, I'm checking his top speed. Actually, his top speed is pretty high. It's higher than the rivals that he has in front of him. So we see Daniel Scott closing the lap in P14 right now, and Harry Smith heading into the pits, not happy with the Q attempt. He will not have much time to actually get out of the pits in time, so he will need to do a pretty fast outlap, which is not ideal.
Yeah, especially not in the nature of the track. Really impressive though for Murno though to be 5th, also ahead of the current championship leader in Ruven Macheda, who's outside of the top 5. Oh, Herlock has Herlock trying to go into the pits, but I think he's going to go for another run in these tires. I don't think there was enough time. I think he noticed there was enough time in the pits, so he's pretty much trying to gun it, trying to see if he can push any more he possibly can. Down at 22nd, it's not going to be a good points haul for Optimal if he's in that position. So it is pretty much now or never for Joseph. Meanwhile, with Canapino as well, he's now approaching for the 3rd sector. Now he's gone 2 improvements now. Is he going to make anything for the 3rd one?
Yes, let's see. He's a bit off the pace right now. He's almost 8/10 off, so that will show him between P12 and P13, so close to his brother Agustin Canapino, and actually is a bit further behind. Matias Canapino is P15 with the PCCW, well, very close to his brother, just 23 thousandths. And I think that's a wrap up for Filip Puška. Not a great sector 1, touching slightly the grass. That's over for him.
It's the best he can do, but now the eyes are on Ruven Macheda now. He's Germany's only hope to see if he can get any more positions he possibly can. The current championship leader, he definitely knows he wants to make a standout here. And if it's any moment that you can do, or well, really any race that you wish you can do to be good here, it is definitely at your home Grand Prix, and Ruven knows that. He's definitely going to make it, I believe, before the clock ticks down. That is qualifying over. I think he's the last of the runners, I believe, or one of the last. What can he pull here?
Let's see, he goes through turn 1, one very difficult hairpin. You want to do it in 3rd gear. Now you hang into turn 2, very fast corner. You go 4th gear. Now you trail brake very inside, and you want to stay on the inside. So you upshift fast to 4th gear. You hit the apex. You go on into the outside for good traction. You close sector 1, 7th gear, you go down 1 gear into 6th gear, and then another 2 gears down for this very fast corner as well, right-handed. We're heading into the what I call the hairpin, very banked corner. You light brake into it. 3rd gear, you upshift fast to 4th. I think he did it just in 4th. He's not had the greatest sector 1 right now, but a good sector 2 and a good sector 3, he can make him improve some positions. It's crucial to get this position from Lucas Murno. He's closing sector 2, tidy, left-handed, tidy, right-handed. I think he closed the line a bit too much. He's going good, he's improving, he's aiming between P4 and P5. He has to brake very late for the NGK chicane. 3rd gear, left, right, good exit, and now you just brake slightly for the last corner, you upshift fast to 4th gear, a little bit of a twitchiness at the end, this might cause the P5, and he costed that the P5, Macheda is P6, Macheda will start P6, and we can see clearly he's not happy about it, he's completely not happy about it, since his rival is starting further up ahead.
No, absolutely not. But Turlock as well, with the worn tires, he managed to get that last position's gasp to get himself up in within breathing position, at least, of the top 10, as he's in 12th. But Lucas Murno, though, P5. Incredible.
Yes, Lucas Murno, I mean, he has been very surprising. He has won the US Grand Prix in round 6. And is no surprise to anyone. He's not improving right now, so I think it will be a P5 for the Brazilian driver. And I think that's it for the qualifying today. Pretty surprising gaps. The gaps are fairly big, probably bigger than what we have seen this season. Oscar Sortero takes pole position like he did in the Canadian Grand Prix with a 27.52, followed by Jose Soriano. So we have a front row, Spanish front row, then Filip Puška, 3rd, Harry Smith, P4, Lucas Murno, P5, Ruben Macheda, P6, Mike Quinn, P7, Luke Mitchell, P8, Mateusz Majka, P9, and closing the top 10, David Krupa. Federico Russo, P11, Joseph Hurlock, P12, Maxime Bulio, P13, Agustin Canapino, P14, Daniel Scott, P15, Matthias Canapino, P16, Patrick Magnusson, P17, Robin Mölling, P18, Scott Mitchelman, P19, Lorenzo Di Ciutis, P20. Mirko Lucchini, P21, Dominic Koroshavin, P22, Tom van der Voort, P23, Kiz Githoff, P24, Alexander Rogoza, P25, Michal Galka, P26, Omari Watson with an incident in the qualifying, P27, Manu Manikandan, P28, Cas Rietveld, P29, and Giuseppe Saracino, P30. So that is everything for the qualifying. What are your impressions?
Quite an interesting qualifying, I must say. We've seen a lot of aggression here, which you have to do here in the Nurburgring, definitely, but also pays a bit of its dividends, as we've seen with some incidents and some people that had to abort their laps. But with the gap that much that Saltero has to Soriano, it's going to be very interesting to see how both of their races are going to pan out. But not just them, but also amongst the front runners as well, with Puška as well and Machete outside of the top 6, which is, I don't think, ideal really for Optimal at the moment. But they definitely have been in this position before and have strung some miracles and magic to gain higher positions. So if he wants to try and hold on to that momentum that he's carried on through the second quarter of this season, it is definitely needs to be taking place here at the Nurburgring.
Yes, for now, even though quality has been a big gap between the drivers, tires will be super important for the race. So I expect the gaps to be smaller for the race. There will be a very close first stint, like we have seen this trend in every single Grand Prix. We have seen this trend in Silverstone, we have seen this trend in Canada, we have seen this trend basically everywhere. And when the action is gonna happen, it's gonna happen when they bid for the first set of tires. And I don't think, maybe I'm underestimating the Superlights drivers. I don't think a one-stop is feasible. So the options are more leaning into 2 stops, and maybe someone who is wanting to be super aggressive is willing to do a 3-stop, but considering how difficult it is to overtake, I would be more inclined to see the 2 stops rather than the 3 stops.
Strategically, it's going to be very, very interesting, I must say, but usually it is now gone with the warm-ups now, so we have a team we'll talk about. The camera that was on board Optimo, current championship leaders as well, had made their debut in GPVWC back in Formula Sprint 2 all the way in 2022, have never won a Constructors' Championship, so it's not quite new grounds for them because back in 2024 they were second place, so they were in high contention for that. But I think this is quite impressive for them in the second half of the season, in their Superlights debut, to be leading. Of course, with Ruben Macheda doing very well to hold, he's the second driver actually this year to hold back-to-back wins, first being Jose Soriano. He's held a very good and very comfortable, shall we say, points haul at the moment, and as long as that, his teammate in Joseph Herlock has got podiums here and there, but has never fully quite gotten into that race winning like miracle that he's sort of hoped for, has he?
Well, I think Ruben is a Super League caliber driver. He has demonstrated that in previous years, and he has demonstrated that this year. And Joseph has been doing a fairly solid season. Optiminal started to be on pace a bit further up in the season, especially from round 4, with what that 1 and 2 made it fairly clear. And we could see that Ruben won 2 races in a row. He was very competitive for round 6 as well, very competitive for round 7. So I think Ruben and Optiminal have been, from the challenger teams, the most consistent ones. That reflects in the team's championship. But Optiminal as an organization has, for me, it was one of the contenders to take the title. My personal choice was more about True North with Nurburg, Jakob and Jan Dragoon. But I think nobody doubted how strong Optiminal could be this year. Joseph Harlow coming from Vale Esports last year and doing having shining moments, and I would say that this year he also had some shining moments. But especially when you get a driver of the caliber of Ruben Macheda, you are opting to everything. You put that together with the management they have, it's the perfect recipe for winning.
Yeah, not to mention it's Ruben Macheda's first full season at the Superlights. It's not very easy to have sporadic appearances in a championship and then suddenly to try and hit the ground running and do, 18 races, for instance. I know he missed the Australian Grand Prix, but that's the only absence that he's had so far. And then ever since then, he's just sort of been hit the ground running. Joseph Herlock, as you said, back from I think it was from last season as well. He's done fairly well, fairly consistent. Has been more or less on the pace. In fact, I think personally he's bettered his season than last year. You can really see the improvement that he's done here.
Yes, I think when you are aging, you are improving, even though they say, oh, your peak, your prime. I think aging leads you to a better prime. It's not considered enough. So yeah, that's, I would say Optiminal has been doing amazing.
I agree, and it's really nice to see new teams. I know we've mentioned them as contenders early on, especially during the podcast, but to see that hype, I guess, see it in all of its glory is quite exciting to see. And I'm sure for a lot of the teams and the fans, it's also very happy to see. But currently now, as the calendar graphics are up, thank you, Fabian Jungbluth, for that. Ruben Macheda, as mentioned before, current championship leader, holds that 29, I believe, 29-point gap ahead of Jose Soriano, Spaniard, over in second place. He had a very strong first quarter of the season, but has been a little bit wayward there. But he's definitely going to be bouncing back up here, especially with that second place over in the qualifying. Norbert Jakob not here, but very good there from True North. Especially got True North's first win at Silverstone to really kickstart the European leg off in a very strong start for True North, and looks to continue that way with Lucas Murno at the seat. Joseph Herlock, mentioned before for him, very strong fourth for him, and hoping to carry Optimal's momentum in the standings as well and hold that place up ahead of Netrix and True North, etc. Lucas Murno for Fusion, he's now over at True North now. He's done very good, especially with that win over in the United States. Carries him up along, very good there from New Zealand. Philip Puschka, the German, the second of the Germans here in the top 10, 6th, and the sole driver here on this table for Drake done really, really good. 2 second places in the first 2 races. He's been trying to look for that first win, but he's been fairly close in a numerous amount of occasions, and I think he will have his chance fairly soon, I believe. I'm pretty sure you'll think about that too, Carlos. Jan Dragoon in 7th, he's also done very good, mentioned as well, in compared to his teammate Norbert Jakob, just a tiny bit unlucky there, and just a little bit of a dip in there for the final few races, but he's been fairly good overall, so it's good. True North has got 3rd and 7th up on the table. Mike Quint, really good there from Linark, places it up into 8th, has done fairly good, fairly consistent overall on the board, and then Harry Smith over in 9th with Jose Serrano in 2nd, so that's their points haul over for Netrix. He's done okay in the first few seasons, and I think we could see a bit of his momentum slowly starting to call back up, especially here in the Nurburg ring with that performance up to Soriano. I think he was 3rd and Soriano was 2nd, and Robert Milling completes the top 10 for Team Mercury Monsters over in 10th with 42 points. Very, very, very interesting top 10 there, I must say.
Yes, I think Ron Merlin is a very interesting prospect. He has been consistently in the points every race, besides Silverstone, of course. There has been some drivers that are doing a similar season to him, like you can see Harry also like being consistently in the points every race, and these things are at the end very important for the team's constructors and for the team economy at the end. We can't forget that GPVWC has an environment where you can see the finances of the teams, you can see the car development of the teams, and I'm not surprised that for example Soltero is able to perform like this when you have a car that is more developed, for example, than the Optiminal or than the competitors, and this makes a difference. It's not like a huge difference, but how you develop the car and how much you develop it is very important. It can be a very important factor from here until the end of the season.
Yeah, that's a very good point you mentioned as well. With the upgrades, has a bit of different effects and have to try and cater it towards different tracks. So some of them will be going different routes, but then also it's also a matter about the points as well. So we're going to see a bit of that performance discrepancy or differential over the course of the second half of the season as well. So we're going to see the field maybe just a tiny bit more spread out, but then also see some teams specializing in certain kinds of tracks than others. So that will also be very interesting to see in addition to that as well. Warm-up is slowly coming to a short end with about 10 seconds left remaining. It's been a very, very busy warm-up here, as you can see, with everyone trying to get very used to the track and try to settle down into racing conditions here with about 5 seconds left remaining. Any predictions then, Carlos, would you say, for the race?
Oof, that's a difficult one. I think with such a big of advantage in qualifying, you cannot ignore it. I think for sure Soriano is gonna try an overtake into turn 1 and maybe try to control the race from there. We have seen Soriano being able to manage the tires, but I don't think is enough to stop the other Spaniard. So I would say easy bet for me today, Oscar Soltero takes the W today for BremGP.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from here. I think it'll be hard not to put money on him, but it is a very long race, and you mentioned before strategies. The question is if BremGP will have the, ironically, optimal strategy here on place, and while I'm not denying that of his pace for sure, I think strategy is going to matter just that little bit more. I think it depends on which of the teams in Netrix or Optimal or True North can make that right call and excel their drivers up into the top step of the podium. I think that's probably where that's going to cut it, and I think, but probably Soltero he'll probably have a very good chance of doing it. But it could be Soriano's, or it could be Macheda's or Pushka's. It could really be anyone, really. Pushka, yeah.
I think Pushka has a very good chance. When we saw him racing in Australia, he was one of the few drivers who was able to make the one-stop work with soft and mediums. he was one of the drivers who was able to manage the tires better than anyone else. So I think Pushka maybe surprises the field with an alternative strategy that might work.
I can see that. I can honestly see that. I think it's everything here is definitely doable, I'd reckon. And I think also alternative strategies in the Nurburgring, I think you would imagine is one of those places which definitely would work as well. Cars are going to slowly start lining up onto the grid and take their positions. 49 laps are going to be ahead of us here in this wonderful track of the Nurburgring. We've both have made our predictions, and the weather conditions are set to be maybe 10% chance of raining, but the sun looks to be shining out brighter than it was during qualifying. So the stage is completely set now here for the German Grand Prix that will slowly be coming very soon.
Yes, and can wait for the race to start. Doing a last weather check, it should be stable weather for today's race. We are not expecting any kind of rain for today's race, which has been a trend for this year in here in Superlights. We have had a lot of different weather conditions during the races, but it looks like today will be a stable weather. Some clouds here and there, but it should be pretty stable. No rain chances. Nice 19 degrees is not completely very warm weather, so ideal racing conditions.
Everything seems to be set, so looks to be a straight line to the finish with a bit of strategies. It's definitely going to be to see like which one can hold their tires and strategy best here for the German Grand Prix. But now a quick look through the grid now. Oscar Saltero holds up into pole position by 2/10. It's a very good qualifying there for Oscar. So Cesar Arana makes it a Spaniard front row in second with Netrix GP. Philip Pushka, the highest German driver, is third for Drake Racing with Harry Smith, makes it a Netrix 2 and 4. He's in fourth. Lucas Murno, very good for him for True North, he's in fifth. And Ruben Macheda, current championship leader, is in sixth. Mike Quint in seventh for Lunark with Luke Mitchell in eighth for Kings Racing. Ninth is Mateusz Majka, makes it a Lunark 7 and 9th with David Kupa in 10th for PZZW. And Federico Russo in 11th for Alpha Delta with Josef Herlock in 12th for Optiminal. So that will make it sec there with Maxime Boulot in 13th with Oxkin Canapino. 14th for TTF Racing. He's the highest of the Argentinians there. Daniel Scott for Ricky Monsters in 15th with Paduka Magnusson. 16th for KV86 Powerhouse. He's the only driver there to set a lap time for that team. Robin Milling in 17th for Ricky Monsters and Scott Mitchell Mum, Kings Racing in P18. Lorenzo De Cutis in 19th for True North and 20, and Mirko Lucchini 20 for there. Domenico Harashevin in 21st with Tom van der Voort for 22nd, Chris Gitzoff in 23rd, and Alexander Ragoza in 24th. Michel Galka in 25th for Gallery 82, and Omari Watson didn't set a lap up in the end with Manamani Kandan, Katz Reitzfeld, Giuseppe Sancino, and Matthias Canapino also not setting laps.
Yeah, Matthias carried a penalty from the previous.
Oh yeah,
Grand
back
Prix.
up the grid. My bad.
Yes, he carried a penalty for escaping twice in qualifying, so he will have a penalty for this race and the next one. So very important to get back into the pits as we see the leaders just approaching the first slots. Here is very important, warm up the brakes. Tires are not that relevant. They get very hot pretty fast. So just make sure you overheat slightly the brakes until the last car is on spot. I can see Magnusson is on alternative tire. I'm not sure if he's medium or hard, but only out of the top 15 I only see 2 drivers on the soft, which is Ruben Merling and Tom Vandervoort. The rest are on alternative tires. Here we can see Daniel Scott is on hards. Okay. Raceview didn't say that. As we see Matthias Canapino approaching to the last spot, and we'll see now lights turning on. We'll see now very soon the countdown for the race start.
It'll be interesting to see. Oh, I think we might have someone going off.
2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we go here. There is a bad start for Philip Pushka, Harry Smith jumps to P3. I think Jose Soriano will be able to battle the P1 right now, and they head side by side into turn 1. Looks like Jose Soriano is taking the position from Oscar Soltero. There are some yellow flags here and there, and I think they touch. I think they touch the Netflix and the Brem driver, and now Harry Smith takes the chance to actually overtake the Spanish driver Oscar Soltero and almost loses control of the car, and now maybe the opportunity for Philip Pushka to actually go for the inside. He backs out, and Macheda is P5, winning 1 position from Lucas Murno in P6. There is a fight there. Lucas Murno by Queen for the P6, losing another position, the Brazilian driver, who will need to wait now, looking for the inside, but I think now everything is stable. This is the ideal situation for Jose Soriano. He has his teammate to protect him from Oscar Soltero. We see side-by-side racing into the Schumacher S. This is very critical here in this position, and we see Joseph Hordog maybe looking for an attempt in the inside, in the left-handed. The very fast left-handed. Watch out with the dirt here. He's very heavy here. And now we're approaching into lap 2. Very important to follow the DRS train. Harry Smith is just right there, being able still to have DRS, almost about to lose it. This is critical for Jose Soriano's racing chances. And we see here the train. They're going across the finishing line for the first lap. Soriano, Smith, Soltero, Pushka, Macheda, Quinn, Murno, Micah, Mitchell, and Russo are closing the top 10. Wow, what a race start, Amir. It's a penalty for Koroshavin.
Wow, that's so early on, and he's down so much places as well. So I wonder what's happened to, maybe it's carried through from the previous place, I'm not sure. Another yellow for sector 1. We've seen quite a number of yellows. Oh no, we've got someone going off. That was from the turn 1, I believe. Yeah, that was Chris Gitsoff. It was Chris Gitsoff indeed. But I think that seems to be the only incident that we've seen so far. But a dream start for Jose Soriano. Daniel Scott is into the pits along with Amari Watson. I mean, that's both of their front wings gone. Yeah, that's both their front wings gone, I believe.
Yes, something happened in the back end of the grid because Amari was starting really at the back end of the grid. And super important, Soriano broke the DRS already on Harry Smith. So here maybe Smith has the chance to do the teammate play, to actually hold everyone up so Soriano can actually build the gap and maybe just have a very calm race in P1.
Could be. It's still early in the races, but you have to think for the team and in this position that you're in, especially if Oscar Soltero has got a gap advantage that we've seen in qualifying. Surely it might make sense to try and push back as much as they possibly can and then see if he can, he has to push over to catch the Soriano if he wants to use the DRS and maybe a bit of the push to pass. But think of the tire degradation that he has to do if he's that far back. I think Harry Smith will know, which is why he's going to do his best to defend. But let's see, Oscar Soltero is going to make an inside move heading through turn 1. Is he going to make it very quick for the Spaniard? And I believe he does so. Up into second for the Brem GP driver. Exactly what he needs. Now the question is, how much of the deficit can he climb back up now to Jose?
I think 1.9 seconds is something you can catch up fairly well in 47 laps remaining. It's a very long way to go. I think anyone is still a contender for this race. That it is basically in the top 10, I will even say. We can see a whole DRS train going down to P8, P17. So this is very important. Now we will see if Harry's able to hang on the Oscar Soltero DRS and maybe catch up on Jose, or what is going to happen from now on, because we can see Filip Pushka being very close to Harry. Maybe Harry is struggling a bit more in the management and in the race terms. We see he already lost DRS. It's not easy to keep all these things. And we can see Soltero is setting purple sectors already. Purple sector 1 winning 2 tenths on Jose Soriano. Purple sector 2 winning 3 tenths on Jose Soriano. So he's definitely pushing to catch up on this. And maybe Harry, what he will try is to use some push to pass to hold on the DRS from Oscar Soltero. As we see the fastest lap from Oscar Soltero, which was 6 tenths faster than Jose Soriano.
yeah, two tenths faster than his best, like from a couple of laps ago as well. So Oscar Saltero really pushing those softs as much as he possibly can to catch up to Jose. The question that I have, though, with that deficit that he needs to be able to catch up, you'd think that the tire wear would also decrease, because Nurburgring is not very easy on the tires, especially with those high and medium speed corners. So that's the question that I have. If Saltero, it's not just the deficit that's on the timing sheet right now, but it's also going to be with the tire life.
Yes, I think it's clear that both drivers are being fairly aggressive, and they are trying to pull out of the train. We've seen Macheda also losing the rest from Pushka. Maybe he didn't react in time to this pushing side from Saltero on this accordion effect, right? If one pushes in front, the other one has to push to keep the DRS and so on. Maybe he was not able to react to that, although he's very close to actually catching it back. It will be very, very, very important to see what is the strategy from here, because if you see someone pushing very hard, you are in your own choice to say, okay, am I following this pushing, or I follow what I was targeted from the team?
Yeah, I think that's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to pretty much like expand over the course of this race. As we see here with Luke Mitchell entering through turn 1, it's very, very tight and downhill. It's just get a little bit of camber if you just be so early on it, and then it swings over through turns 2, and then it's a wide apex before you have to brake hard through turn 3, and then it's a very quick right-hander of 4, and then afterwards it's a very short straight. Just a little bit of a wiggle there from the Englishman as he's trying to catch up to Mateusz Majka up ahead. But God, this is absolutely exciting, I must say, Carlos. Very, very exciting racing here in the Superlights.
It's super tense. Everything is very close, and we can see that Saltero is actually catching Soriano. I wonder if they have damage from the touch they had into turn 2. I'm fairly sure they had the contact, and that's why Harry Smith had the chance to overtake Oscar Saltero. But right now they are in a wonderful position, creating a gap to P3 and P4. But we might be expecting some pit stops fairly soon, maybe in lap 12 to 14. The pit window opens, and we see Philip Pushke here being fairly close to Harry Smith, so he's definitely going to do an attempt into turn 1. We see he's 4 tenths behind. This is an attacking range. Philip Pushke is going to open the DRS, use all the push to pass. Harry knows he needs to defend for his teammate. He closes a bit. They go side by side into turn 1. Oof, they almost touch. Harry tries the switch back. He's slightly ahead heading to turn 2, although he's in the outside. He will have good traction there, although now he will have Philip will have the inside, and Harry chickens out. Harry chickens out for turn 4, and now Macheda will take advantage. Oh no! He's right! Oh no! He loses his side! Oh no!
No way! No way! Oh my
No!
word! The championship leader is out on his home Grand Prix! What has happened? Oh my word!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's big. That is big. Have to see here. He's trying to captivate here on an opportunity here. Going to go side by side. He's got. He's spun on the apex. Spun on the apex, and there was not much that he can do because the car was just right beside. And I'm afraid
I think Macheda lost a bit the apex into turn 3, and then Macheda clips the curb, loses it. Touches Harry and just, oh god.
He accelerates on the apex, and you could just see he was trying to quickly counter it as much as he possibly can, but it was just too late. And that is such a heartbreak for Optimal, and especially for Reuven, because you know how much the German Grand Prix probably definitely means to him to win at your home, and he unfortunately is not going to be able to do that. And that is such a heartbreak. And that leaves the gates wide open here.
Yeah, it seems Saltero has more pace than Jose Soriano right now. And he will probably attempt the overtake fairly soon. We will see how it pans out. They don't want to lose time. They have a good advantage to the German driver in P3. And it should be probably their target and maybe battle it out at the end of the race, unless if you are Oscar, unless you see yourself being clearly faster than Jose, you don't lose the time right now on attempting an overtake.
Just thinking about how much the heartbreak that is for Reuven, and now changing back up here to the front now. This is going to be very different implications now for Jose Soriano. It's going to be the chance that he needs to try and bring it up to the duel between himself and Macheda, and Sotero is going to look to put a spanner into the works.
Yes.
This I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it.
Yes, it's shocking because it has a huge championship implications. We see Oscar being very close. I think the best chance you can have is actually here in turn 1. I think he's fairly close to actually try it, but I think they are both very aware of the situation. Probably the pace gap is not too big between the two Spanish drivers, and they want to pull away from Pushka as much as they can. And probably Soriano needs an ally right now, and if Soltero can actually drag him into the DRS, it's better, because Pushka right now is slightly faster than Soriano, and this is very relevant. 3.2 seconds, 3.7 seconds in a 42 lap span. It's still a very long way to go, and this is a gap that Pushka can actually cut down by pure pace, so they cannot afford to losing time. I think if you are Soriano, if Soltero goes for the move, you just don't make it difficult. You just let Oscar set the pace, you get advantage from it, and then you just enjoy the ride. Right now, pitting will mean going down to P19 with pretty big chances of traffic. So I don't think it's ideal. They still need to work a bit more until the pit window opens. So I'm very sure they are working for that.
Yeah, definitely going to be racing. They're all racing their different races effectively on the strategy. Oscar Sotero, just have a look through. Going to be very close on the back of Soriano. It's just pressuring just a little bit as they approach for the first sector, over for turn 3, then braking really hard for turn 3. Yeah, not going to be side by side, so he's just going to... He's also going to be as much impatient as Soriano is, if that's going to be the case, because he's not really aggressive or eager to make his move. He knows he's faster than the Spaniard up ahead, and he's just going to take his sweet time in terms of the overtake, not make anything dramatic, as seen with, well, Macheda. I think Macheda was like pretty much a awakening call for the leaders to don't make any drastic or dramatic maneuvers, because the track surface is very limited and compared to like other modern track venues that we have on the calendar.
Yes, this track is fairly tight. In many sections, everything is fairly difficult. Nothing gives, and you need to use the whole track to set very good lap times. And using the curbs here is a very complicated task. It's very easy to touch a small spot of grass as well. So we can see Pushka is right now just cutting this gap pretty fast. I would say right now he's been cutting the gap for tenths this lap. So it's clear that Soriano is not enjoying his moment right now, and probably I have to mention again, I really think those two drivers had a contact into turn 2, and maybe there is some damage carrying, and they have the advantage of the chaos that was generated in the first laps, and maybe now Pushka has the upper hand, and we can see how Pushka is dragging his competitors. He's dragging Harry Smith, he's dragging Murno, he's dragging Quinn, he's dragging Micah, he's dragging Mitchell. So they cannot be relaxed at any point.
Dragon, that's funny.
Because Drake?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job. Philip is doing what he has to do. well, we spoke about it later. He is one of the drivers with more tire wear management capacities in the whole grid. And we will see how the drivers in front react to this and how the drivers behind him react to this. Because, I think Harry is about to lose the DRS, and Lucas Murno, Mike Quint, and Micah, they cannot allow to Harry to lose the DRS. So probably they will start attacking the British driver fairly soon.
Yeah, I think Philip Pushka's hoping for that gap up ahead, Soriano and Sotero, to have a bit of a battle so he can sort of get himself up into the mix to make it a three-way for the lead. And I think maybe Jose and Oscar up ahead may know that Philip is catching, so they're not, Soltero's maybe not actively fighting, just because they can hold that gap for as long as they possibly can, because they know it's going to dwindle, but it's going to dwindle even more if they go side by side for turn one anyways. And yeah, you can see with Pushka being just so much faster, he is actually getting away with the DRS from Harry Smith, and Harry Smith being under pressure with Murno, Quint and Micah is not going to be a very good sign for the Englishman, just to see if he can able to manage it off from here. But he knows that in the position that he's in, if it stays the way he is, he can just sort of be a bit of help to Soriano up ahead. If they go on alternative strategies, for instance, it'll be like a very good indication to see which strategies work, which is also the benefit of having, you know, two teammates up ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be very important how the teams decide now. The window is opening fairly soon for everyone. I'm very interested on how the teams will manage this, and if there is, if we actually underestimated here in the commentator box the one stop, and maybe Pushka is going for this one stop and having a very good management, as we see the leaders go for another lap, and not we see also Pushka going for an extra lap. I'm not sure if any other drivers are willing to pit. I don't think so. This DRS is just extremely beneficial, and you just don't want to give up on it. As we see a yellow in sector 2, I think, we see a yellow in sector 2. Murno was fairly close to Harry, but he ended up not having an opportunity. We see another yellow in sector 2. I see Manu Manikandan and Cas Ritwell. I think there was some kind of contact between the two drivers. We see a driver also behind Cas Ritwell. I'm not entirely sure which car it is. I see Chris Gitsov. These drivers are extremely far off the field right now. They are 50 seconds off from the leaders. We see Chris Gitsov having a lot of issues. Yeah, looks like it. Heading into the pits. Even Chris Gitsov was with the mediums, and I think Cas Ritwell is with the mediums as well. So we can see that the drivers are not having an easy task to maintain these tires. You see, as it's usual, the top 15 is the soft runners, who are the ones who actually... Oof. Wow.
Quint.
Was it Quint?
What a save. That was Quint. He's just about saved it through the curb. That was sideways, and he still held it in. Incredible there from the Lunar driver.
Oh,
and
we see drivers heading into the pits. Quinn executes. We see Kings also executing. They're going for the undercut. This will be fairly important. This pit lane is very close to actually... Oh, wait. We see someone else pitting. Ah, we see Soltero pitting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Soltero is doing opposite. Oh, Quinn goes for hearts. Wait, and Soltero goes for soft? Oh, wait. Maybe needs to update. I think it's too soon to say. Maybe needs to update. Super important where the drivers are landing here, if they are landing on traffic or not. Looks like Luke Mitchell is not on traffic, but it looks like Quint is gonna be on traffic. It's gonna, he's gonna have clear air for 3 moments, and Soltero has traffic. Soltero is on medium. Soltero is on medium, so they are in alternative strategies, and this car will just guarantee... Oh, as we see drivers fighting, Harry Smith and Matheus Micah fighting. Wow, we will need to see a replay of that, because that spot is not normally an overtaking spot. So, wow, props on Micah. We are watching a replay right now of the action, and I think he just sucked the slipstream there, and a very nice overtake by the Polish driver.
so close, and he timed it just spot on from Smith to just block him off. Yeah, Harry Smith, usually, as you said, not a place to overtake, so often you kind of let your guard down, but very opportunistic move there for Micah, as now he goes into the pits after making that very great overtake. Now, a little bit squirmy over there, very close to the pit wall. I am sweating just watching Jose Sariano, the leader, currently also into the pits as well. So that means Lucas Mura is the provisional points leader at the moment, but having a look here with Oscar Saltari that pitted a lap earlier. And Philip Pushka also into the pits, also in chance of a win with him. Just going to see what tires they're going to both come out with. He's coming out on the hards, Mike.
Hards.
And then where is Pushka?
Pushka, we're yet to update.
Yeah.
We're yet to update it. Yes, yes. Wow, but there's strategy variability. Here we can see Soltero mediums. Soriano is still behind Soltero. Even though he had the traffic, he's behind. I mean, he will now have a one-lap tire advantage, which is fairly useful. I think it's important for Jose now to maybe deploy some push-to-pass to ensure that you are in the DRS from Soltero. You don't want to allow Soltero to just go away without it. And behind, we can see Pushka is actually in traffic. He needs to overtake two cars. He needs to overtake the Zutis, and he needs to overtake Lucchini. And the Zutis is just fighting for position. So there is nothing here. Oh, wow, no! Don't lose the car there, guys. These are the race. Let him go.
Makes the move.
Wow.
Yeah, he lets him through. He lets him through.
After that, I think anyone will let him through. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, kudos to Lorenzo. I mean, for letting through. I don't know why you need to, but my word, that was close. Another good save from Lorenzo. That's the second close call that we've had in the past 2 laps. Saw one with Quint, and we saw one to Cudis. And now Lucas Murno, his teammate, is into the pits along with Smith and Mulling as well. So gonna see what compounds they're gonna come out with. Soltero sets the fastest lap time, since the tire has been accumulated now up to a better optimal condition. Now it's gonna be all the chariots running now for the Spaniard. Harry Smith comes out in 12th and has got a bit of traffic up ahead, especially to those that haven't pitted. He's on the hards as well.
Yes, but he lost the position with Murno, I think, as well. As we see Lucas Murno just trying to do some overtakes here on the heavy traffic. We can see the Lunarks being... Oh, wow, what a nice overtake through the outside on Matias Canapino. And now the Lunarks have to do the move. Ooh, a bit of push to pass, no? But not in the meant way. And here Mike will need to wait to actually pull the move here right now. Glitches the curb slightly, and he will need to wait for another opportunity, and this time is crucial. This time is crucial because his competitors are actually pulling away. I wonder what happened to Harry, because he was very close to Lucas and to Micah. Well, to Micah he just undercutted him, but I wonder if he had a moment or he had a difficult moment. As we see, Mike Quinn just goes for the inside in the NGK chicane. Oh, he loses the rear end. Matias Canapino is not gonna give up. He's gonna look at the inside, but no, he will hold behind Mike Quint. And now opportunity for Matheus Michael. Look at the train we see here. And now everyone will have an opportunity. We see Dominic Koroshavin being overtaken by Harry Smith, and we see also Matheus Micah going for the move on the PCCW driver, and he makes it stick. And now maybe Harry Smith will try to make it stick in turn 3 if the British driver feels aggressive enough to go for it. Well, he stays behind for now, but every overtake is key. And this is so important because we see now the gap between Pushka and Soriano has increased to 3.7 seconds. So the cleaner just gave him an extra 1.5 seconds for free. And now everyone else will actually lose so much time here. And this is why the leaders were controlling so well the pace on when do you want to pit, when do you want to actually pull the trigger. They did it almost perfect. Soltero had a slightly bit of traffic, but he still managed to get the P1, so props to the Spaniard driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Really incredible there. quite incredible there for Campina to be able to hold up that lap traffic, which is our much fresher compounds than his, for such a long time. And it's putting a spanner in the works, especially to Harry Smith's charge up the field that he's falling off from the podium. Like from the top 5. And Harry Smith now going for the outside now for the final chicane and makes quick work of the Argentinian. Yep. Very good there from him, and then just a final turn 15 to try and see if he can catch up to the Lunarks up ahead. He is on a better compound, but depends on where it's going to fall off there. Lucas Murno up in 5th. He's got Mirko Lucchini to overtake for 4th. Down through turn 1 he goes, and the Brazilian makes very quick work of the Italian. Up in there goes Murno, and Acutis just right behind up into turn 6, and a little bit of a push away. Quint goes up into 7th for Magnussen, and Mateusz Micah will be the next on the KV.
Oh, what a dive!
Up for turn 3! What a move from Lunark driver! Wow, that was incredible! What a dive bomb!
Yeah, that was very needed, because otherwise you need to wait a lot to actually have an overtaking chance. You need to pull those moves if you still want to contend for the race. And look how important it is to not land on traffic. Lucas Murno is 4 seconds behind Pushka. And he still did a better choice than the Lunarks. Lunarks decided to pit very early, and they started racing very slow behind the traffic. And they're even further behind. They are already 12 seconds behind Soltero. They were in the DRS train, 4 seconds behind. They were not far away. And it's just how important, how strategically SL2 is. You don't want to land on this traffic, otherwise you just lose so much time. You need to wait for the driver in front to pull the move, and then wait for your turn and then pull the move. So you lose so much time with doing all these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Harry Smith also a desperate move over for P9 and made very quick work of Magnussen up ahead. That's another one coming into the pits. I think that was kind of Pino down behind. Yeah, he is. He's going to have his scheduled pit stop. And Lorenzo Tiquisas as well, just up ahead. And meanwhile, there's David Krupa along going side by side with Patrick Magnussen heading down through turn 1. It's going to be very close, almost a bit of a contact. And there's Joseph Herlock in the background. He's going to be joining along this fight. But David Krupa, very good move there up into P9.
Yeah, Krupa is doing an amazing job tonight. He doesn't have the most developed car. He has had a rough season with different number of incidents. And today, just being in P9 right now, being able to pressure for a good top 10 position, it's fantastic for the Polish driver tonight. And I think another honorable mention is what Lucchini is doing right now. I think Lucchini is going for an extremely alternative strategy, and he's holding the Lunarks, and this is creating a big gap for whatever teammate he's helping out. And the Lunarks are right now completely out of the race. They don't have racing chances unless they go for a one stop. But just to put it into perspective, now Quint overtakes for making the move right now, and we see now Lucchini just heading into the pits. Quint is 11 seconds behind the leader, and this will update now when he crosses the line. He's 12.9 seconds of the leader. So if the leader pits, the leader will only be 7 seconds behind him with new tires. So even though if they go for one stop with this hard tire, I don't think they are in contention anymore. And this just sums up what we have been speaking, and that's why the SL2 grid does this, that they don't want to go too fast. Ooh, as we saw Quint again on the verge of losing the car here at the Nurburgring. We see also the setup from Lunak doesn't seem to be quite on pace as it was for other GPs. But yeah, this shows up how important it is to being able to pull the trigger at the moment you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Where everything sort of comes together down to this app, the drivers, the conditions, bit of the upgrades as well. And see here with Linark, though, still 5th and 6th. Still going to be good. Not really in race-winning conditions, but still in a chance to get some very valuable points into the standings, especially in the positions where they are in that very fierce top 5 battle for themselves. Up there, especially going to get some points up ahead of Fusion Racing, as now there's going to be an overtake. Mateusz Micah, a very quick move there through Mike Quinn. Harry Smith maybe has a look through the chicane, but not to no avail, Quint and Micah exchange positions.
Yes, probably Micah has a bit more pace, and Lunark is playing probably the team game right now, just letting Micah do his thing. And I'm getting booked. So, as we see Harry Smith going for the inside here on Quint and makes it stick. And here Quint just goes to have a look on Harry, and this makes sense because Harry is on mediums. Let's not forget the Lunarks are on hards, and David Krupa is now actually adding pressure on the Lunark driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Smith is. He definitely knows that advantage that he has up against the car up ahead is not going to last very long, so it's pretty much now or never, but that's still a very, very eager and very well dramatic overtake, I must say, from Smith. He's really trying to push out all the guns to try and break himself up into the top 5 once again, but with all that, you know, extreme or aggressive overtaking, it is going to put a dot into his mediums, and that means that a pit stop may be coming a little bit soon for him than the other drivers that he's overtaken as well.
Yes, and I'm getting told that what I said about the rain, I should scrap it. That rain might be coming very soon. Well, this is a very sudden change of the expectations of the race, but it looks like we might have some raining in the upcoming minutes, and this is why it's very important to have track position. We see David Krupa trying the same as Harry Smith just did before. The Polish driver going for the P7, and he makes it stick. David Krupa, although he slides, although he loses it, but he makes it stick. So David Krupa goes for the P7, and yeah, Lunark is looking for setting the soft tires for the ending of the race, but if it starts to rain now, they will not be in a great spot, I will say.
Yeah, that I can understand fully as well. Just you have to really like understand with Lunark where exactly can you potentially go on from here. There's so many like different scenarios that run into your head, especially the positions that you're in. But with Harry Smith and Krupa, not making it oh so easy is kind of beneficial for them, because as I mentioned before, it just drains a bit of the tire life and just strings them back in. I think they know that the overtakes that are happening here for this fight are going to be on track position. Mike Quint almost loses it once again.
Yeah, yeah, that curb is a killer, and Harry will actually try it here through the outside in the NGK chicane, breaking side by side. It looks like Harry had to cut the chicane to avoid contact, and now the Polish driver is very close to the British driver. It looks like Micah's struggling a lot. Now Harry Smith will actually have the chance for turn 1. Now Harry will just go try to do the attempt. I think Micah is using a lot of push to pass to avoid it. Goes through the outside, drivers do contact, and then because of that, Harry Smith loses the chance to actually go for the move. And let's see what happens in the upcoming corners. We see also David Krupa being very aggressive here, having a lot of pace. So yeah, it's not easy.
No, absolutely not. Very daring move there from Smith to make it once again on Krupa, but wasn't quite close enough, and a bit of wheel banging just about keeps Micah in P5 for now. But now Krupa is right in the backside of Harry Smith, so any move that doesn't go to Smith's favor might actually lose a position, in fact, for the Netrix driver. So that's something he needs to be kept in mind of as he navigates through the second and third sectors.
Yes, this is key moments for Harry. He lost a lot of time behind on the traffic. If he, the tires for him will actually start to go down anytime soon, whereas for the hard runners they will actually start to go up. So he needs to make the move. It's true that Harry was one of the drivers who stopped the latest. I think he stopped by lap 15 or 16. So his tires should be in a really good state. But banging wheels, that can give you a lot of damage to the car, and that slows down pretty much a lot. So you want to avoid that and try to do clean overtakes all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gap has sort of spread up now. That's going to be in Krupa's, Micah's favor in 5th to try and just push behind Smith and Krupa down behind for that just a little bit more. And a bit of breathing room is for the Polish driver is definitely what he needs to hold on into 5th. Mike Quint still just in the foreground, slowly a bit catching up. Every time that overtakes on Micah doesn't work, so that's going to be good actually for both Linux drivers if Micah can still just about hold them back. But the thing is, I think he's dropping just a bit, I think, to be even involved in this fight if they're racing normally.
Yes, I think the chance for Harry has passed, and maybe now it's actually smart to sit behind Micah and let Micah drag you in the DRS. So we see Jose very close to Oscar, but as we saw in the first laps, I don't think they understand very well who their rival is for the race win, which is Pushka. Pushka has been lapping fairly fast through the whole race, slightly faster than the two drivers in front. It must be noted that Pushka has fresher tires than both of them, and there is 24 laps to go. Soltero pitted, was it lap 12? So I guess he will aim to set another tires of mediums. Oh, as we see another attempt from Harry Smith being just pushed to the curb. That curb slows you down massively, so it is a very complicated situation for the English driver. Now Micah is just defending for his own benefit. We see the English driver being not happy, but the rules are... he almost loses the car, so he must not lose the focus. Rules are, I mean, if I'm Micah, I will wave as well. Like, you just try to mental Harry as much as you can. At the end, it's in your own benefit. Rules are a bit gray when it comes to pushing a driver to the curb, because it mentions that the curb must be rideable and so on, and it's a bit of a gray area. Probably Harry's car didn't like to be in the curb, but it's a gray area. I think at all the times you must remain calm, and if you see the driver being behind a bit mad, I would personally poke him even more, just to make him even more mad and maybe just fish for a mistake.
You really like it when drivers get aggressive, don't you? We're halfway through the race as well, and the non-verbal communication we've seen between Mike and Smith indicates that it's really going to be popping off here as Krupa breaks very late to try and hold that gap in between himself and Smith. And I think we're due for another duel between Mateusz and Harry very soon. But again, all that fighting, Quint has managed to get himself up 4/10 into this field, along with Harry and Harlock with them as well. So that's going to be a wild 4-car battle for the 5-car battle for P5. Oh my god, I am this is so incredible, I must say, Carlos. I've never commentated on a race so hectic as this.
Well, it's very interesting because they went for different strategies, right? And so this is what allows to have different strategies. I'm checking closely the pace from Micah, and Micah is still quite slow compared to the drivers in front. He's still doing 32, 32.4, 32.3, whereas the front runners are doing 31.5. So I think it looks like the choice of setting the hard tire was not ideal. And right now, the leaders they are almost having a gap to pit with Joseph Horlock. So if they don't increase the pace quite soon, the leaders will be able to pit in front of all these group of drivers already. As we see, Harry Smith actually going for the move into turn 1. He is able to make it stick now, and he must not relax. He must not relax because maybe Micah loses it from the rear. Wow. Yeah, those hard. Oh, we see Krupa being very eager to. He was waiting patiently behind Harry, and now he wants his piece of a cake now.
As our friend once said, oi, 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 oi.
Oi, 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 oi. Yes. It's I agree with you. It's been a very hectic race now, extreme battle, which is what we like to see. But I guess Micah soon will actually have an opportunity to go on Harry Smith.
Absolutely, but it's a dream thing for Harry Smith to finally, after so many laps behind, Mateusz Micah to make the move onto P5 now. But David Kripa must be looking behind and say, I wish that could be me, and is going to make his move fairly soon, I must say, to make it up into P6 and also to tag behind Harry Smith. It's also going to be bad news for Mike Quint as well, because that means that Micah's just going to be carried along with Smith, and not going to be much change. Change up at the head of the lead. Soriano's made the move on Soltero.
Yes, Pushka is catching a lot, and I think they are at risk right now. And if Soriano had more, I think it's the moment to maybe increase the pace. Because yeah,
Pushka's actually caught up quite a lot. He was 2 tenths down, and now it's 1.5. So he's really been putting in the reps to try and claw that back in. And now he's in potential chance of a podium. We'll have to see with the replay.
Have a contact?
Have a look here for the replay now.
Last lap from Jose was very slow. It was a 32.9, and from Soltero was also very slow. And we can see now the overtake. But was it this lap? Because the lap from Soriano was very slow. Was very slow.
Third one. And then it was like 6 tenths off the lap prior, so it must have been a very big discrepancy if Soriano managed to make it on Saltero. But he didn't really defend that much, or made it more difficult for him, so I'm not quite sure exactly what could be at play here. But Philip Pushka as well, 1.5 seconds down, and Soriano and Saltero will have lap traffic up ahead. You could just see on the screen just a bit ahead. Yeah, there you go. So it's going to be determined if that's going to make it all the more easier or difficult, because I think that's Amari Watson up ahead. So yeah, so it's just going to see how that's going to happen. It's not going to make it through the straight. So, Saltero tries to break very deep, almost in the back of Soriano, but just about fence off, and that will allow for a gap between Soriano and Saltero to grow just about. And I think, yeah, that is Watson ahead. So it's going to be a very swift blue flag, yeah. It'll be a blue flag overtake indeed. But the thing is, like, with the lack of racing room, it's going to be hard to overtake in the corners safely. So for Soriano and Saltero, both of them, they want to try and make it quick and make it stick, really, in fact. But I'm pretty sure the English Road will make it easy for him as they approach for the hairpin. Now, approaching for the second sector, it's going to be another high-speed corner, entry, rather, in fact. I think there has to be a blue flag very soon, I think. It won't be for a full lap. Maybe it'll be for the chicane, I believe.
I think he will even have the arrest here, Soriano. There you go. Goes away, and I'm fairly sure if he didn't have the arrest, it was very close to have the arrest. We see Pushka closing down. Soltero lost the arrest on Soriano, so clearly Soltero is struggling slightly right now, and he goes for the pits.
Oh, it's the pits.
Oh wow,
it's the pits.
That's very soon.
Wow.
Does he have the gap? He doesn't.
Is that another? Is it another undercut? Is he just? He's on such a deficit as well. You'd think that he would go long in these mediums, but it's just not there. So we have to see another pit stop from him. It's going to slowly change, I believe. Yeah, it is, because it's currently worn at the moment. But have to see where it comes out as well. It depends on the traffic as well. If Oscar is going to be in the midst of traffic, it's going to make things all the more difficult. Yeah, he definitely will, and it is going to be softs.
No, he's on medium. No.
Oh no, softs, mediums.
He did 15. Well, maybe he's on hards. I don't know. He did 15 laps on the mediums, and right now maybe he went for the hard. We're yet to have an update. I mean, the group is right ahead, but the group is with very late pit stoppers and with hard runners, so it shouldn't be easy for him to actually clear this group. I am not entirely sure about this decision making from BrameGP to pit the Spanish driver right now.
Yeah, it could go in two ways. It could be either an absolute disaster or a masterclass of strategic placement here in the Nurburg ring. A bit of flashing of yellow flags, but nothing seems to be looking too severe. So Horace Soriano still holds on to the provisional lead with Philip Pushka. It's 2.2 seconds, so Soriano has pushed it up just a little bit. And then Lucas Murno down in third with Harry Smith in fourth. And Mateusz Majka currently looking on the right now in front of you in fifth. David Krupa just behind in sixth. Mike Quint in seventh. Joseph Herlock, solo twin-wheel driver in the top 10 in eighth. Oscar Soltero, who's just pitted. Now at ninth, he's got
struggling now.
up to do.
Krupa is struggling. Now he overtook before. Now Quinn has the higher end with better tires. Quinn looks for the inside. He does the dummy. Maybe Krupa goes wide. He doesn't. He makes the apex stick. So Krupa holds the position for now. And but it looks like the mediums are starting to give up right now. And clearly, yeah, maybe Oscar didn't manage well the tires, and that's why he decided, okay, staying here is just worse for my interest. And even though I will check on the traffic fairly soon, I rather do this.
Yeah, that's going to be a fairly good point as well. But Mike Quint, though, still just on the back of Krupa as well. I think Krupa's going to be doing a pit very soon. I think if that's going to happen with him, I think we can look for Mateusz Majka, I think, maybe. No, sorry, no, my apologies. Harry Smith to probably potentially pit as well. But top four at the moment for it stands for him is pretty good showing, I must say, for the Englishman to hold an Etrix 1-4 as it stands. The question is if it's going to stay that way, because he's still got like the Lyric drivers and Krupa just behind. So I think we expect them to see fight to the end. Yeah, Krupa's into the pits now, and we can see another tire compound change for him, I'd reckon. Still only about 18 laps to go, so quite a number of options here. I think it would be maybe logical to maybe go for another medium potentially.
Yes. Hey, I think you are in the range of another medium, as we see Oscar Soltero right now being 1.3 seconds, 1.6 seconds faster than the leaders. So he clearly went for the undercut right now, and it's an interesting thing. Yeah, it's let's see how everything pans out. But yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yep, Herlock also in the background, comes out the pits. I think that's his last pit stop. Also in the mediums, just about comes up ahead of Lorenzo Di Cutis. He's out in 12th, so see how many more points that he could potentially go. He was within running into the top 10, so it's pretty much all or never for him, the Englishman. Wow, that's going to be very close to see what will happen there. So with Krupa, he's just about within the immediate range, so he can effectively just push as much as he can up until the checkered flag in that case. But I think we're seeing other ones do pits very soon. I doubt people are going to one-stop.
Maybe the chances for the one-stop are the Lunark, and I'm not sure about Pushka and Murno. I've seen them treating the tires very well, so it could be very much the case that they are looking for that. Maybe they take the gamble of, you know, yeah, let's see until the end. I have nothing else to lose, or let's see what happens. As we see Mateusz Majka going for the move on Harry Smith, trying to go through the outside of turn 1, and Harry Smith actually... Oh no, they have contact! Mateusz Majka actually crossed the track when... I don't think he was entitled to do that, but he crosses the track where Harry was and they make contact, but maybe I just seen it wrong. Maybe we will need to see later a replay for that. As we see, Soltero is already in the rear end of Mike Quinn and Harry Smith. So these are crucial laps for Soltero. As we see a yellow in sector 3 right now. We see also Pushka losing a lot of time to Jose Soriano. So clearly Jose was... saving the tires better than everyone else. And we see Mike Quinn here right... Oh, wow! Soltero already made it on Quinn. Soltero already made it. These are crucial moves for the race win for the Spaniard driver. And we see he's having a look already on Harry Smith. I think Harry Smith is going to pit quite soon. And those medium tires don't seem to be in the greatest of states. We see maybe Oscar here maybe just doing the move very soon, maybe into the NGK chicane. Yeah, we saw a front wing there in the straight. That was weird. We see Scott Mitchell, DNF. I don't know if it's now. As we see Soriano and Murno into the pits. Well, and we see more drivers into the pits. We see Soriano into the pits. We see Micah. Well, Micah with the hearts into the pits, and Harry into the pits. So it was a mistake from the Lunar to actually go for the hearts.
That's interesting. Smith. Yeah, he does make it into the pit box. And a very Carlos the Netrix team principle. I know, we don't want another.
The fire button is very easy to press, huh?
Just about comes up in 8th. Harry, don't listen to him. You're a great driver. Comes out atop to the top 10. He is great. I know. And Philip Pushka now hold on to a lead, but that means he's going to due for a pit very soon. Patrick Magnussen looking through, drops down to P14. That's a kind of Pino up. Oh my word, that was a contact. That was very close, but Canapino just about holds it on through turn 1 and holds on to P13 for a minute.
Yeah, that's Agustin is just trying to bring up some points to TTF Racing right now, and I am wondering now Soltero has a clean air and will actually cut down the gap fairly fast to Philip, and we see also Soriano trying to. We see a penalty for Michel Galka, Gallery 82 driver. Probably not his best day, and we see Mike Quinn going to the pits. And this is why Soriano waited a lot, because when you wait for these pit windows, and we see Philip Pushka, he gambles the soft. He gambles the soft. He knows he needs something else to actually win the race, and he gambles the soft. Mike Quinn goes for the medium. So Pushka, all or nothing, and he lands behind Murno. This is not good. This is not good for the German driver.
Yeah, but if you're Philip, like, if you're trying to get for a race win, what more can you really, like, gamble on? Like, the mediums is not going to be enough if you want to excel up to a race win, potentially. So I don't necessarily blame him for going on the softs, but think about the amount of tire management, especially in the Nurburg ring, in order to be able to last for that long. Like, is it doable? Is it doable for the German driver? I don't think it is, and I think he won't even get a podium even.
Well, we see it is crucial how fast he overtakes Murno and how well he can make this soft last. We have seen that 15 laps. I think it's it's very optimistic. It's very, very optimistic. And just to put it into perspective, Philip is 7.6 seconds off the lead already, so he needs to cut down this gap and later survive. And we see Jose Soriano already super close on Oscar Soltero. He is going for the move. He's gonna try it right now into turn 1. He is closing down the gap. He will try now. Fastest lap. Soltero defends. Soltero uses the push to pass available. He has 30.0 for the Spanish driver, Jose Soriano. He wants to bring back the victory to the Netrix team since Suzuka. It's been a long wait. It's his best chance to have a higher end of points than Ruben Macheda today, to cut down the gap. A very big gap that Ruben Macheda had today, to cut it down to almost nothing, almost very few points distance. So this is crucial for the Spanish driver. He has a lot of laps to make it move, to make it stick. Murno and Pushka also racing very, very, very fast. They know that they will be fighting for the lead, and they want to fish an opportunity on this.
Absolutely. Soriano and Soltero have only been split by strategy, but more or less have been equal on pace. Soltero just a little bit have a bit of advantage, but now coming on the defense from Soriano, both of them have been proven race winners here and are looking to try and get their first win in the European continent here. Netrix versus MGP, it could go so many ways, and they have lap traffic up ahead, so that's going to make things close up even more as they navigate through 13-14. coming through the hairpin of turn 15. See in the background there, that's Murno and Pushka. Pushka with the softs will try to make the move on Lucas sooner rather than later. For P3 for the Brazilian has been very incredible for the True North driver. But now Soriano with a bit of the DRS. Is it going to make any potentially moves? Any to turn 1? It's gotten very close. Coming within breathing room, but nothing quite yet. Jose still sticks behind Oscar.
Yes, for the moment, they are just fighting for it. And it's important to keep track on the gap behind. The drivers behind are racing way faster, so they cannot lose much time.
Yeah, absolutely. They just cannot see that much chance of... The thing that I'm just a bit worried about is the lap traffic up ahead to see if he'll be either an advantage for Soriano on Soltero, because we have seen it a bit before that it has given, I think it was Soriano, just a little bit of the breathing room from Soltero, which convinced him to probably pit a bit earlier. But I wonder to see if it's going to go any ways this time, as they navigate through the second sector now, still just pushing much of the track area as they both possibly can. And there's going to be blue flags soon or less. And Ement, yeah, using a bit of that slipstream now, just a bit of the DRS now, flat out through this corner now. And just final few corners.
Gallery 82 should get out of the way fairly soon. I mean, this benefits Soltero fairly well because he's getting the DRS from the car in front, but this is a situation where the leaders are fighting. You just need to give them way right now.
Yep, probably, yeah, he's going to get out of the way now. Probably has seen it already. Is it going to take, yep, Soriano with him? And that's going to split those two apart. The Gallery 2 will probably stick behind. Galka will still stick behind to continue on his pursuit to his fight with, I think that was Daniel Scott up ahead for the Ricky Monsters. It's just a bit of a position up ahead. Yeah, that is in 22nd. So that was a position, a battle for 22nd and a battle for the lead. And Soriano, I think, is not quite making any strides onto Soltero. It's enough to give Soltero a bit of, worry, but it's not enough to close enough to warrant an overtake yet. So still just waiting by that time as they navigate through the hairpin of turn 7 and then exit out. Yeah, still Soltero up ahead with Soriano in second.
Yes, I mean, it's crucial that Soltero pitted with way earlier than what Jose did, and we saw later on, before how much of a tire difference make. Jose is 4 laps fresher tires, and I think he will have the chance. He's just waiting for the ideal moment to just stick it in. Look how close he is through the NGK chicane. He can actually make the move, but he's just waiting the moment to make it the easiest way to lose the least time with the least risk possible. He's fighting for a championship, and he knows it, and he's closing the gap, but Soltero is just defending his way still with a push to pass, and it will not be easy for the Spaniard driver, for neither of the Spanish driver, but they need to think that at some point maybe they need to start looking behind, because Murno is being faster than both drivers. He's being half a second faster than both drivers. So maybe Soltero, with the tires that he currently has, he doesn't have the pace to actually maybe keep in this position. Of course, it will be more difficult to Lucas to try to pull a move on Jose if Jose has the DRS.
Taking the defensive line, it will also carries on more time, and Murno, who's not even defending from Pushka. Pushka's on the softs. We expect them to make an overtake very soon, but that overtake has not happened. So it's not been very good for the German driver, who is looking to try and get a podium with that soft gamble, and it hasn't paid off. So I think Murno is definitely going to be, on hindsight, on charge for the lead here. If those two continue on to fight for the next 10 laps, its potential could be a 3-way here.
Yeah, it could be. He's very, very, very close here. We can see that he is closing, and now Soltero will actually use some P2P delivery into the exit of this corner here. We see now he is, yeah, he's not closing the gap here enough. Oh wait, he is actually, he will go for the move. He makes it easy.
Makes it before return 1, and that's incredible for Jose Sariano. Exactly what he needs with 10 laps to go. Makes it move and makes it sick out of Oscar Saltero. Makes it into P1. Very, very strong there from Jose Sariano. Tries to push the gap just a bit. I think that was the push to pass a bit coming into effect, but very good and very effective there from Jose. Now his task now is to push the gap up ahead.
Yeah, well, I think Smith is actually, David Krupa is fighting with Mateusz Majka. He was in front of Mateusz Majka. Majka is trying to make the move. He loses a bit the car grip there, and he's just trying to hold this position as much as he can. And they go side by side into the fast corner, and Majka makes it stick through the outside. What a move from the Polish battle we are seeing here. The Lunark driver is able to make the move stick in one of the most spectacular spots of the racetrack.
Phenomenal there from Oates. It's done absolutely incredible for that Lunark car, and a little bit of a wiggle shows that it was definitely no easy feat with the tires that he's on. Incredible, absolutely incredible, and really will be happy with Lunark to make it into a top 5 now. Separates between him for Krupa is Quint, actually just behind in 7th. He's going to be trying looking to move past Krupa as well to make it a Lunark 5 and 6th. And you must imagine how delighted their team principal must be with such a massive amounts of points, a point haul that they'll definitely get here.
Yes, Lunark at the end is trying to capitalize on all these points. Krupa is doing the best race of his season. He will need to defend from Mike Quinn, and probably he will need to defend from Harry Smith as well. But now we see Mike Quinn going for the move, trying to go through the outside. David Krupa doesn't make it easy. Oh no! There is a slight contact into turn 1. He pushed him wide. And yeah, he's gonna try to do it through turn 2 through the outside, and then go side by side through turn 3. Oh. There is more contact. There is more side by side racing, and he clips the curb. But I think now Mike Quinn got it stick.
That was so close. They were both so squeamy coming out for that first sector. Almost disaster and imminent, but still kept it clean. And Quint, what a move for P6. Incredible there. And that will allow for Lunark to get in 5 and 6th. And it will also allow for him to use a bit of the slip machine from his teammate to push up ahead to get that safe deficit between himself and Krupa. What an incredible scene, though, I must say.
Yes, it was an amazing action. But now Krupa needs to be aware that he has the Networks driver behind. He will have a bit of DRS for this for the upcoming 1 or 2 laps if he's able to keep up with the Lunarks. I wonder if the Lunarks are going to play the team game, because Quint pitted later than Micah, so maybe Quint is on the better tire state, although being 17.6 seconds off the next driver, I don't think there are many chances to finish ahead of anyone else.
Oh, Herlock DNF'd. Oh, wow.
Oh no, this is not... Well, this is a 0 for Optimal in the German Grand Prix. Oh, so, that's not ideal.
So many... Actually, I believe we've missed so many retirements. I think it's coming into the pits. Oh, that looks...
But we missed
something
the engine because Herlock was in the group.
Is he saving the engine? I don't...
Yeah, I mean, yes, if you're completely out of position, you retire to save the engine, but he was fighting with the group of... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something else happened to him that we missed through the race. But yeah, right now, the hot spot of the race is Soltero trying to keep for the P2 right now. Soltero has the older tires from the front runner group, and he's for the moment hanging on Jose's DRS, which will be important for him to be able to fight his podium place right now. And we see Filip Puška also just keeping behind Murno, not really attacking. I wonder if he will actually try to make the move anytime soon.
Oh wow, Murno's actually 1.7 seconds. So if they continue to fight maybe for the next few laps, it could really be a 4-car battle for the lead. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Murno to climb up that far up ahead. I think that was Harry Smith going past David Krupa for P7, I believe, up ahead. And well, things to be kicking off. So you think for Soriano and for Soltero, what exactly can you do here? Because you know the more you fight, the more that Murno will catch up. But also, it's you need to fight for a race win as well, right? So it's only about 5 laps to go. So, well, more than that. So it can really go any way.
There is still a lot of laps to go. I think Soltero will have a hard time trying to keep this P2, as we see that he's in the edge of losing the DRS with Soriano. And it's very important for him to keep this DRS, otherwise he will be in danger. Even though if Murno and Pushka actually get there, it will not be easy for them to actually pull the move. We have seen how difficult it is to overtake in a DRS train. Of course, they have a tire advantage, but it definitely will not be easy.
Yeah, that's fairly true as well. You can see with Soriano and Soltero, still nothing really breaking them up between those two, and Murno and Pushka also in similar situations as well. I think with Soltero, we're just seeing that gap between himself and Soriano just pushing off just a little bit, but with that lap traffic up ahead, I think has given him a bit of a golden opportunity here. In fact, 2 lap cars up ahead. So again, quickly going to see how long it'll take to get past, but I think the dirty air effect will probably be imminent for Jose's lead to Soltero and also to Murno, as Think slowly has to make the move over. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's in these situations, I think it's a KV86. I think it's Omari again, because well, just the track position I see right now. So yeah, I think it's Omari Watson. I don't think it's any other driver. So yeah, the 2 Spanish drivers now, they need to collaborate to actually being able to pull away from the attacking drivers, which now Lucas actually had the DRS from Omari. So yeah, he had a slightly bit of dirty air. So we see a yellow. I think it's Mike Quint.
Yeah. Oh wow, he crashed. Oh, his rear wing's gone. I think that's one of his rear wheel. Yeah. Oh wow, must have been a real tag slapper there for the Englishman. But we'll have a look for that later. Argentro's up ahead. That's going to make Lugnark only have just Matthias Maika as the point scorer as it stands. And it promotes Harry Smith and David Cooper to 6th and 7th respectively. So that's going to be a very big point total as well for those 2 teams. In addition to that, as it says, one's downfall is another person's gain. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Mike Quint though. Done really well as Fusion Racing driver moves out of the way. And there's, wow, just still 5 laps or so left to go. Soriano and Soltero, Murdo and Pushka still in that breathing room. A bit of a chance with that 1, 2, 3, 4. But Murdo and Soltero, I don't see that gap really closing down that much. So I think Murdo knows that he's on limited time as it stands.
It does close to 10s a lap per now, so it will maybe have a shot in the last 2 laps with the DRS, because once you get into the DRS zone, Soltero lost time there. Actually, this might come closer than what we expected. So, yeah, well, I think actually by this mistake by Oscar, maybe the chance comes sooner than later. Once you get into the DRS, you close 1 lap very fast, and he will have the chance. How many chances? Maybe 2 or 3 chances. 5 laps remaining. So yeah, this is important, and maybe we see Pushka going for the move, just going. Oh, they had contact.
And that allows Lucas Murdo to drop off, and Philip Pushka maybe takes advantage. No, he lefts off the gas pedal. I think he knew it was his mistake, but that will have drastic consequences though, because Murdo was catching up to Soltero, and it almost looked like it was going to be a 4-car battle. But that, I think that's the end of it. I think that's the end of his charge.
Well, it's still a long way to go. Let's remember, Oscar pitted very early. He's probably struggling with the tires. It will be important to see if the True North and Pushka actually carry any damage. But Pushka felt like he had to give it a try before Murno got the arrest, because otherwise you don't have this chance later. If Murno gets the arrest, you will not have the chance to actually overtake him. So, yeah, that was a fair move, a risky move, and we can see Murno shaking the car a bit. I don't know if he was losing the car or he was showing disconformity with the move. So, and we see now Pushka very close again on the Brazilian driver. I don't know if now they carry damage, the Brazilian driver carries damage, or he's struggling with the temperatures. Might be the case. But Filip Pushka, even though he did a mistake, he didn't give up on it. And he's fairly close once again. He will try again into turn one. Lucas Murno doesn't defend, lets the outside, tries to brake so late, and he makes it stick. He leaves enough gap in the inside. Maybe now tries to switch back. The German driver looking for a podium in his home Grand Prix. So he was trying to look for a race win. But now he found out he has to fight with the Brazilian driver. Brazilian driver is able to defend now. And for the moment, they keep positions.
Very good defending there from Murno to fend off from Philip. I think Philip had to try to look for turn one, but I think didn't fully commit to it. I think it was just trying to hold back a bit, because I think he knew that Murno will definitely come back biting as well. But I think those two fighting, I think pretty much has cemented that they're not really aiming for a chance for the lead anymore to catch up to Soriano. It is possible for P2 though, given how Solterra has dropped off a little bit. So again, 3-car battle for P2 is still incredible, but yeah, I think that fight does cements their feelings on how their chances of a race win is looking. And for Jose Soriano, I think it's a bit of a good sign that those two are fighting as well, because you only just need to worry about Solterra now. That's
only
right behind.
only.
I dismiss him, I know, but he's very capable, and he's definitely, been really fast and rapid all around. And Filip Pushka now with the DRS up behind Lucas Murno is going to try and move once again. I think he'll have the slipstream a bit to his advantage once again, heading down through turn one. Another move, a bit of a dummy. He's going to see if Lucas Murno reacts to it. No reaction necessary for Murno. He still holds on to his line. Still third and fourth.
Yes, still third and fourth. True North looking for keeping the, trying to cut down the gap with Optiminal. This is why Murno went to True North. He wanted to fight for the Constructors' Championship. That's why he made the move from Fusion to True North, and with this P3 can actually help True North, and he is the only driver from True North right now on track in position points. Actually, Lorenzo Di Sutis DNF'd some laps ago. So these are very important points for the True North. This podium is important, and Filip is just fighting for his honor. They're still lapping faster than the drivers in front, even though they are just struggling with the tires. I think Oscar is struggling more than what these drivers are right now. And maybe Pushka is using push to pass, maybe to surprise now in the NGK. He shows his nose to maybe try to make Lucas nervous. But let's see how they go into turn one. After this lap, they will have only 2 laps to go. So 2 more chances, 2 more laps. I think Lucas here used a lot of push to pass, and he feels comfortable in this position. I don't think Filip will actually have a chance to do the move. So they will hold positions for this lap, and maybe he can have a look in the NGK chicane again into turn one, and maybe a last attempt into the NGK chicane.
It's a bit sweet for Murno and Pushka, especially when you've known that they have the pace to catch up to Solterra and Soriano. If it wasn't just for that little kerfuffle a couple of laps back, could be seen a completely different story. And now it looks to be just a battle for P3 between the Brazilian and the German, but it's still going to be very interesting nonetheless. Pushka, I think his softs are going to be slowly going away fairly soon, but still got some life in him. Hasn't done any drastic overtaking measures quite yet. He's done very well to keep the softs alive for as long as he has possible. I think it's been probably one has been his finest tire management drives, I'd reckon, because you and I didn't believe that he was going to be this far. I thought he wasn't even going to be contention for the podium, and now here we are, just 2 laps left, and he's on the breathing area of Lucas Murno for P3. He's going to make the same move again to try and worry the Brazilian as he navigate through the final chicane and then over through the final turn 15. It's going to come down to the final lap as well. Soriano and Soltero still about 8 tenths just ahead, and Pushka goes a little bit sideways, and I don't think that's going to be good. He's got one chance for turn 1.
He's still closing. He's still closing. Watch out.
He's going to simply not heading down for the inside of turn 1 now. Is he going to try to put his front wing running in different? He does going for it side by side now between Pushka and Murno will have the inside line down for turn 2, but still Pushka still holds on to it. Wow, that's incredible. And now losing through. Oh, wow. And Murno just about defends brilliantly to hold on to P3. It might be Pushka's one and only chance, but he's not giving up.
Wow. Well, he has a last chance. He has a last chance in the NGK chicane. He cannot give up on it. And we see Soriano already cleared Soltero, so I think that is safe. Soltero is struggling a lot for the tires. Everything is very close. Yeah, Soltero is losing so much time, and if these drivers didn't fight so much, they will actually have the chance on it. As we see also Russo fighting with Bulio. I think Russo overtook Bulio, and now he will have the last chance for the last spot in the podium. The German driver against the Brazilian driver. He is a bit far away. Both will deploy everything what they have left. I think he's closing. He's closing. He's gonna try it.
Heading for the turn 10. Oh, God, Pushka's gone sideways. He's out. No, he's not. He's gone sideways though. And then Lucas Murno will hold on to third, and Jose Soriano will come to win the German Grand Prix. It's his 3rd win this season. Oscar Soltero fends off for 2nd, and Lucas Murno just about fends off from Philip Pushka to claim another podium to his Superlights career. Wow.
I don't think Philip is particularly happy, because he went from having the chance, as we see a DNF car there in turn 2. I think he was one of the candidates to win the race. He waited until the very last moment to actually try to do the pit stop, try to have the greatest advantage of the tires, and it didn't work out for him. And race winner, Jose Soriano. Since Suzuka, he had to go through difficult moments with having 2 disconnections, with having moments, long moments without the podiums, and he manages now with the best car, the most developed car, managed to win again in Superlights in 2025. He is a 3 race time winner this year, the most race winning this season.
You said your predictions that Soriano would win, but also it was very hard to bet against Soltero. But I'm sure you must be very ecstatic to see Soriano come with another win, and with Netrix 1 and 6, a very good point, so I must say.
Well, it's overall a good result, and everything gets tight for the constructors, as we see maybe a last lap replay. And here we see...
this is earlier on, but from the Schumacher S. Oh, he loses it. Wow.
Yeah, he clips the first curb and
touching the grass and the gravel, and that's all she wrote. Unfortunately for Mike Quinn, nothing really much he can do to control it. And then here's the replay for the final overtake through turn 10. Philip Pushka had the inside for turn 10, has gone a bit sideways. Yeah,
I think he went wide.
think that was the signs of the softs giving up as well, whenever you just saw it being squirmy. But yeah, nothing much I could do there. Lucas Murno, this is heading for turn 10 as well. He has the outside line, I think holds it stick. Did he give him enough racing room?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's on Philip.
Definitely did.
I think it's on Philip. But well, I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah, at the end there is frustration for not achieving the results. I mean, they are competitive people, and this is fairly normal. Jose Soltero wins the German Grand Prix from P2. Oscar Soltero finishes P3. Look, oh god.
You say
Jose Soriano and Oscar Soltero, yes. Sorry for that. Lucas Morno finishes P3 in his debut for True North Motorsports. Filip Puška P4, Matheus Majka P5, Harry Smith P6, David Krupa P7, Robin Möhling P8, Agustin Canapino P9, Federico Russo P10. Vulio P11, Canapino P12, Koroshami P13, Lucchini P14, Saracino P15, closing the finishing points. Magnusson P16, Van der Voort P17, Rogosa P18, Daniel Scott P19, Omari Watson P20. Michel Galka P21, Mano Manikandan P22, Mike Quinn DNF P23, Herluck Zutis, Scott Mitchell-Mam, Luke Mitchell, Chris Gitsov, Kat Rietveld, and Ruben Macheda, the championship leader, still are all the DNFs for the German Grand Prix. What a race.
Incredible.
I mean,
22 finishes as well in a track like the Nurburgring is, you know, it just really shows you the challenges that this track has to offer, especially whenever it takes out like a championship leader like Ruben Macheda. And with Jose Soriano getting another win to his books, that means that the lead that he built up so confidently is now effectively gone for. And now he comes into Spa-Francorchamps in 2 weeks' time with a bit of a target on his head from the Spaniard.
everything is super tight. Well, we will have a crazy ending of the championship, as we expected. It's a shame that Norbert Jakob was not here today. I think he will also have a good chance to get some good points today. So everything ties up. The Drivers' Championship ties up a lot. The Constructor Championship ties up a lot as well. Yeah, what can we say? This is what we want in a mid-season status, and we're waiting here for the for possible interviews. And yeah, who's your driver of the day, Amir?
Oh boy, put me on the spot like this. I'm not very good with this. Oh my word. Where to go? There's so many options, like, you know, with Micah did incredibly well for Lunac too. And that, like, fend off from that for so much and to, you know, finish as high as he did was, you know, fairly remarkable. I also give my hats off to Harry Smith for how well he navigated himself through the midfield too. Filip Puška, because the fact that he managed his softs that much and still managed to be within the breathing room of Lucas Murrow for the final few corners was, you know, I think it was incredible and probably one of his... If that move just stick, it probably, in my opinion, would have been his best drives in the Superlights, in my opinion. Oh, Solterra has done very good as well, because he was like 2/10 off. And I think the only thing that just dropped him down just a little bit, I think, was the strategy calls. I think if it was on a better strategy, I think he might have been on a better chance. Oh,
I mean, for
has
me,
to be Soriano,
for me,
hasn't
it has to be Soriano. Starting from P2,
It has to be Soriano.
having to fight the way 2 times. They fight in the first lap, and then Oscar undercuts him, overtakes him on track, and then Oscar undercuts him again and overtakes him on track again. Yeah, for me, there's no doubt. So Soriano is the driver of the day. We see Ruben Macheda in the interview room.
Yeah.
Shall we track him in here?
Yes, definitely.
Hello, Ruben.
Hello.
So, difficult race tonight here in the German Grand Prix. Can you explain us a bit what was your point of view on what happened in I think it was in the early stages of the race?
Well, I tried to overtake Harry Smith on the outside and lost the car a little bit on the curb, and unfortunately he was very close to me, so I hit him, spun off, and then engine it, and yeah, wasn't an ideal race, and my first DNF this season, and probably the worst race this season, as I was setting a 26.7 in quali with way less grip in practice, but yeah, it is what it is, and I can only hope for Spa to be a better one.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, but you're still leading the championship, Ruben. So and everything now it's fairly tight, but you have been the most consistent driver through the championship, and the fight is on. And how can you guys do to bounce back, because Optiminal looked a bit weaker in the qualifying end today? And one last question, does it worry you, the difference in development between Optiminal and the other cars that are in the front runner group?
To be fair, I think race pace wise, I can still be the fastest or still be the fastest in every race, but yeah, qualifying, as you mentioned, is a big struggle for us. When the cars were more equal in the first few rounds, we were much stronger in quali. Also in the race pace, we were much stronger, but yeah, the development has been really unfortunate for us, and we have been the 8th most developed car, while new cars or new teams like Netflix are being at the moment P1 and with Bremen and P2, so we are doing clearly something wrong, and I don't know what it is. So I don't know, I hope with my consistency I can keep the championship alive, but at the moment my hope to win both championships are not as high as they were before this race.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think champions, as you say, championship is still on. Spa is an interesting track for fighting. So Amir, is there any question you want to do to Ruben Macheda tonight?
I mean, yeah, it's been. I know it's been very difficult for you, Ruben, especially for you and your team for the German Grand Prix. Curious though, because of the good momentum that you've had from the first half of the season, and looking through the rest of the calendar, it's the start of the second half of the season. What would you say are your goals now? Because you've mentioned before, it's harder for you to win both championships now, that you and Optiminal are looking to try and achieve now.
As I know myself, I will somehow try to get back into this championship fight, and will try my best to beat Netflix and Tunov guys, but also now with Joseph Furlock not really motivated to continue, and yeah, and just to gain as many points as possible. I don't believe that we can gain many wins anymore, as we have just our car is such. In comparison to the others, it's just really difficult to handle, and it's not really as quick. You need to use way more tires than the others ones, but it is what it is. We will try our best, and we will see what happens in Spa.
Yeah, of course. Thanks very much for your time, Ruben, and all the best fortunes to change for Optimal. And you've done very well today as well. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, no worries. See you later.
Take care.
Well, we have, I think, one last candidate for an interview, which is Lucas Murno. Hello, Lucas. How are you?
Hello.
It has been a very interesting weeks with your swap to True North from Fusion Racing. Can you explain us a bit on why did you do this team change, and what are you expecting from True North differently than Fusion?
Well, what can I say? We have some proposals since what happened with the Dragoon was a surprise, and now another surprise that Hurlock left from Optiminal, so maybe someone will get on the seat. But well, they did a better offer for me. They offered as well to give some better conditions since they were on the P2, and now looking at my actual circumstances in the championship, I think it would be better to make a decision to go for a team who has the better chances to win the championship. In the end, I could show this very well with both of Optiminals out and getting True North in a good spot for the championship. So now on, my focus will be in the helping the team to get to the championship and try to make a good performance. Because at the first races, not gonna lie, I was happy to show myself, and now someone had to recognize it, me as one potential drivers to be in the front. So I didn't. So I have to not disappoint. This was all happened in my mind, and in the end, I have to take a look at this for the rest of the season now, and I will make sure that they will put a lot of faith on me, and I I think I showed that today.
Yeah, you reacted with a podium. You did from True North and from your side, because at the end this goes to waste an amazing strategy, waiting to not have any traffic for the first stint, going in the overcut and avoiding the Lunark train, because the Lunarks did the big train in stint 1. And then this opened up for you the chance to actually undercut Pushka as well, and to have the chance for a podium. So first of all, parabéns for that. You did an amazing strategy race tonight. And do you feel like there is a big, well, you know, GPVWC has their own development, a car development environment, and the Fusion and the True North are different cars. Do you feel like a big difference between both of the cars, or do you feel they are fairly similar and nothing changes too much?
I think that one of the things I noticed a bit clearly between the both cars was the agility and the way how the tire wear goes, because True North I felt a little bit better to save the tires than the Fusion, so the Fusion car, but both cars were quite competitive. Fusion has a lot more possibilities to be a team, a good runner team, midfield runner team. So if they found a driver who can get in the good spot, I think they will be in a great one. Since Fusion came up from P10 to P6 after I left, we become into P5. And in a certain circumstances, I think after Montreal we had a P5. So Fusion has a big potential there as well. So I think they didn't find someone yet, but I hope they find out. They were a nice team to be with it. They work well, so I will make a little bit of propaganda to them, because they treated really well. And again, and also in the True North as well, we got a lot more of a development of the car. We didn't acknowledge as well, because they knew it a little bit more. So yeah, both of them are a little bit different. Are difference in between their philosophies, and then the development of both cars. So, and also the treatment. So I liked both of them. And in the end, now I have to focus on the new goal, since now I am primary on the SL2. So apparently it was a good welcoming on the SL2 fact. So, and then I surely will thank for the opportunity once again, even for Jack and now for Carter, who gave the opportunity and supported all the race, with the spotters as well. So, well, it was. I like the dedication from this championship as well from the teams. I have to raise that. They really take a special look on it, and I like that as well. So it motivates me to be a little bit more to be even more competitive race after race. And well, sorry if I was talking a lot.
No, come on.
You're fine.
This is good. Just one last question. True North now scores 180 points. Even though you lose one position in the championship with Network GP tonight, you are closing down the gap on P1, which is the objective, and you also are placing yourself before in the championship. You overtake Joseph Harlock with tonight's performance. You, if I'm not mistaken, and if my calcs are correct, you will have 83 points. 83 points right now. You would be 47 points off the lead, given how hectic the championship has been, with Macheda with 2 zeros, and one of them by not participating, and today with incidents, Jose Soriano with 2 disconnections, and Nurburg Jakob with some no participations. Do you think, even though it's optimistic because it's 47 points, do you have a shot for the Drivers Championship?
Oh. At this run, I will just take a look at how it goes, because I'm here with no pretensions, but if it has a chance to fight for the championship, so I will get on it. But for now, I will try to get the best results for the team. If it has some chance, realistic chance to be there, so be it. So be it. By the way.
Any questions, Amir? To close the broadcast?
Oh boy. Congratulations though, Lucas, though. It's done very, very well so far in your Superlights career here. This is from all the races that you've attended, it was only one that you have not reached the top 5, and you've added a 3rd podium onto your books here in the series, so very much congratulations on that. Looking at for the second half of the season, mentioned before, it is your first time as a primary contracted driver for True North. Do you have any personal goals for yourself heading into the second half of the season, and especially for the ones coming up like Spa, Monza, and Hungary, for instance?
First of all, is understanding how the development goes for the championships between the Super Series, since they had a development of the car. They were focused on try the best setup and how the car will behave. And actually my goals were changed between race by race, because I was not expecting to be in this mix on the beginning, considering the results from FS2 and even FS1. But as I showed in the last races, the fast car, it goes faster as I can, so faster I can go. And I like the drive fast car, so well, I think it fitted more the situation. And now my deal is learn even more from who has more experience, and try to bring the best results as I can. And if somehow again try to happen to fight with the championship, because I think it will be hard, because there's a lot of great drivers on this field on the SL2. So yeah, I have to be optimistic, but I have to believe as well. So I have to have the guts to believe that I can be in some in this situation. But much things have to happen, and we have to think step by step, race by race, how it's gonna happen, how the things will go. So for now, every predict is just a predict. So it's just a dream, because we have to focus on the present and what goes ahead, but not so far ahead. So in the end, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the opportunity once again, and we gotta go step by step and race how it goes. Again, another podium. I'm happy with that. I think this is the 3rd podium of the season. So well, let's get for another ones. Who knows, the win for True North.
Good performance there from True North, especially on your first appearance. Sure, they'll be very happy with it. Thank you very much for your time, Lucas. We'll let you enjoy your podium.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's all for today. What a race, Amir. I'm still catching breath.
Any closing thoughts?
I mean, what a race. I right now, my brain is completely toasted. I just need to go shower, dinner, sleep. And more action is awaiting for us on Thursday on Super League. Let's hope the race is as good as we had the one today.
Absolutely, indeed. Races continue here for the time here in the Nurburgring over on Thursday at 7:30 British Summer Time. The Super League will also come over here to the Nurburgring, which has been absolutely thrilling so far in the season thus far. And if you want some more Superlights action, come by over here in 2 weeks' time as we head over to the infamous Spa-Francorchamps here, which will host round 10 out of 18 here in the Superlights as well. What looks to be very exciting now with Ruben Machete's lead now coming to a little bit of a shrinkage now. It's going to be interesting to see which of those, if Soriano can make a charge for there. But from all that, it's been Carlos. Fabian has been with us in the cameras, and I've been Amir. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.